Hey everybody, Zerect here. I'm going to make a build video essentially talking about every detail on how to use this, what to use. That way we just clear the air, because I know most of my PvP videos I've just been using different abilities, this and that. People have been asking questions. So this is just kind of basically what's been working for me. And let's just dive right into it. We're going to be using every piece of gear light in order to fit the round and still be in the light category. Try and get perks like Resilient, Cooldown Refreshing, and then basically that's about it. And then for the gems, the biggest counter to this is ranged mages. So I've been using Elemental Damage Absorption, Ice Absorption, and Fire Absorption. Very important. Moving on to the sword. The biggest perk here is Rogue, plus 17% more backstab damage. This whole build is about getting the bash and hitting an opponent with a heavy attack. That does a big damage. I call it the Walmart version execute. It just works great. For the spear, anything really works. Just try and get your gear to help with the attribute distribution the best. For the gems here, I'm using the Malachite. Plus 10% damage against targets with the CC. Always going to need that. Here for our jewelry, plus 23 strength, plus 20 dex, and plus 20 con. Alright, let's move over to the attributes here. I'm running 153 strength. The perks here are plus 5% damage of light attacks, plus 10 on heavy attacks, and plus 50% stamina damage. Here on the dexterity, plus 5 chance to critical hit, plus 5 thrust, dodges cost 10 less stamina, and plus 10% bonus backstab. This is the key perk. This is what the build was based on. We're going to go with 50 con, or 63 in my case. All health consumables are 20% stronger. In a perfect world, you want to get 200 strength to get this perk here. Extra damage on that backstab when our opponent is stunned. I believe the cap for points is 450, so this would work. In a even more perfect world, if we were able to have 500, 200, 250 right here, and then 50. But, you know, who knows. Let's move on to the sword and shield. Alright, I have 3 perks here. We're going to do Leaping Strike because our gap close. I take the second passive. You might be able to want to take the third. Who knows. Here we're going to use Shield Bash. We're going to Leap Strike, hit them with the Bash. They're going to be stunned for around 3 seconds. And then we're going to hit them with the Heavy Attack. And then switch to our Spear, yada yada, do our stuff. And then come back here. Once our cooldowns are, going down, we'll hit Defiant Stance and hit them with Heavy. This is great. Reduce our incoming damage. And this last perk here, gain 50% of your max health with Defiant Stance ends. That's great. You can actually pop this and switch your spear to get that health immediately. As for the passives, I'm taking all of these. These are great. All of these cater towards our defensive ability, our ability, refresh cooldown, light and heavy attacks do more damage essentially, more healing incoming. As for spear, I'm only running 2 abilities. I'm going to be running Vault Kick, fully get this one out, kit it out. I'm going to be running Sweep, get this one out. Some people say that you don't want to use this last one here because it gives you an animation lock, but I found it to be perfect. If the enemy's too far, I just won't use it. As for the passives, all these are increasing our light and heavy attack damage, getting our cooldowns down, and making sure that our dodges cost less. That's basically what this is all about. Alright, so for the basic rotation of how this build works, what you want to do is start off with the gap close. You want to go into Leaping Strike, which says it has a 6 meter gap close, but really, I could probably hit this thing from here. Yep. Go into Shield Bash immediately after that when they're staggered. Hit them with the Big Boy Heavy for the crit. Roll out, do whatever, and hit them with the spear rotation. Vault Kick. Do a light charged heavy, or maybe even 2 lights. Go into a sweep and follow up with that stab. That's some big boy damage right there. Generally what I like to do is just go into and hit heavy attacks, dodge, heavy attacks, dodge. It reduces my cooldowns immensely. Do the same thing, block, heavy attacks to break their block or reduce their stamina. Use Defiant Stance whenever you know you're about to go into a melee. Just slash and bash right there, you know. You're taking 30% less, so you will win. If you need a quick heal, immediately pop Defiant Stance and switch to your spear. Alright, another combo that you can do. Instead of going for the backstab, maybe if your opponent's a little bit weaker, you can always go into a leap, instant, go behind them, and then go into a vault kick, charge heavy, sweep, stab. In a perfect world, that will sometimes hit, and it does some big damage. Other than that, I do just like going into a heavy attack with the sword, just because it's a lot more consistent, and I know what damage I'm gonna be getting. All right, so here's just a fight between me and a great axe and hammer user. He wasn't really that great, but kind of just showing you the rotation of me dodging, how mobile I am, dodging his attacks. Essentially, you have to be careful when they have grit. Grit is very dangerous. See, as I'm dodging, trying to get out of his heavies, I can't CC him when he has that active grit, so just be able to keep that range and hit him with some damage. Alright, here's another example of how to play against another melee ability. He hits really hard. This fight was a little bit buggy. Just know that when fighting a great axe and hatchet user, they have a lot of CC and vulnerability. The only thing that works against great axe grit and the vulnerability on the hatchet is vault kick and bash. That sweep right there worked because I did wait for his berserk to go away. Essentially just going in for the gap close, and right here I have my mini execute and it gets the job done. Another tip and trick with fighting a Firestaff user, you cannot block Incinerate. You can mitigate its damage by around 300. This might be different for tower and kite shields, but what I found with the round shield, you literally can't block it. So watch for the animation and dodge out of it. That's essentially what you got to do. I think we'll do one more here, and it shows what I do without blocking. The damage is a little bit different, but not by much. Okay, in this duel, I'll be fighting a Ice Gauntlet Firestaff user, the toughest counter to our build. Always try to gap close here. I have him by half health, and I'm like, oh, I have this guy. Block that, I'm all good. The biggest thing is trying to negate all of his attacks and roll in for some CC. I wait right here for his last dodge, and somehow that sweep does not hit. So I'm here and I'm getting a little bit worried. I'm trying to get in close. You can block the Flame Smeller attack. As right there, you can see that I didn't get the stun off. I waited too long between my stagger and my shield bash. I wasn't able to get my last thing, and here it was just unfortunate. I rolled right into his Ice Gauntlet attack. And that's GG for our build right there. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this build video. I will be trying to push out some more content on open world PvP and fighting stronger opponents. And not as much dueling, but the problem with my server is there is a crap load of Zergs here. And a lot of dueling going down, which I do love dueling. As for PvE, I might throw out a build, but this thing is not that great for PvE. It's really good for open world mobs, but boss damage is not that viable.
Oh God, there's a lot of perps.
Oh, shit. No way.
Yeah. They're unhappy campers, dude. Unhappy campers.
Hey, boys, how you doing? No need here. I'm just watching. Oh, shit.